What up, y'all? It's your boy, the MMA Mechanic, and today we're here to discuss the highly anticipated, at least for me, the highly anticipated fight between Borralho and Nassourdine Imavov. Now, everybody wants to see the winner of Reiner versus Anthony Hernandez fight Hamzat next, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to see that too. However, what if Borralho or Nassourdine Imavov come out and starches the other guy within a round? I can so see whoever that is fighting Hamzat next. What if you know one of these guys get injured in this fight? I can so see the winner of Anthony Hernandez versus Reiner getting the fight, and vice versa. What if one of those guys get hurt? So this is a strategic move by Dana. I think this is a good move, but it's just so cool because we have this banger after banger after banger. And also, what I think it's gonna do is all four of these guys know that whoever wins most impressively is going to get the next title shot. So I think that's setting up us up for like some great fights at middleweight here. The next couple fights at middleweight are going to be bang, top level, high, top five guys. Going to be bangers, man. You know, Nassourdine, Nassourdine Imavov. We know he's coming off a win versus Izzy, big time. Brendan Allen, big time. You know what I mean? Jared Cannonier, big time. We know Caio Borralho is coming off a win versus Jared Cannonier, big time. We know he's coming off Abus, Magomedov, Paul Craig. You know, we know Caio Borralho hasn't fought in a while, so I'm very excited to see him back in the ring. I personally think that Caio Borralho presents the biggest challenge in the division for Hamzat. Yes, I said it. The biggest challenge in the division for Hamzat is Caio Borralho. Not saying he can beat him, but I think he presents some challenges. Gilbert Burns, another high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, stocky, sturdy guy, like strong guy. Was able to stuff some takedowns or somehow present challenges to Hamzat. I just think that Caio Borralho is going to be able to bring some of those same problems. We're going to discuss a little more of his strengths that I think also can translate to that fight as well. But I want to start firstly by starting with his strengths, right? So we're going to say Nassourdine Imavov has a questionable gas tank, guys. He has a questionable gas tank. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. And what do I mean by that? We saw him versus Sean Strickland, man. Sean Strickland took the fight on short notice and looked like, was in better shape than Nassourdine was. Nassourdine was clearly labored in that fight. Lost that fight. Versus Joaquin Buckley. That third round of that fight, Nassourdine did come out hard. He wanted to knock Joaquin Buckley out. They were talking shit the whole build up to the fight. Nassourdine wanted to really take out Joaquin. Third round comes, gasses. Hands completely down by the side. Hakeem is landing 6-piece combinations, knees up the middle, vicious knees, walking him down. And so while that's happening, we look at a guy like Cabra who was in a war versus Jared Cannonier, who was getting cracked in the fourth round. A big gash underneath his eye, getting brutalized, punched in the jaw. And was still right there. Didn't even look like he was tired. Looking like he was building. Drops Jared Cannonier in the fifth round. I thought that was he knocked him out, man. Jared Cannonier was out. And then when he landed, he woke back up. So, Cabrajo, in my opinion, has a better gas tank. And that is going to play a major part in this fight. It's going to play a major part in this fight because of the next thing that I have to say. I do think that Nassourdine, when it comes to leg kicks, man, the guy doesn't check them. He doesn't, like, if you go back and watch his fights, he does not check leg kicks or defend. Rarely does he ever defend. I mean, if you saw Joaquin Buckley was landing some hard leg kicks on him. Very hard leg kicks on him. Phil Hawes, you go back a little bit. Phil Hawes was landing some hard leg kicks on him. Edmund Shabazian was landing hard leg kicks. And Edmund Shabazian took him down too, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. Because that's going to play a part into this breakdown as well. So these guys are just chewing up his legs. Even Buddy, Ian Hinich, Ian Heinich, even Ian Heinich, chewing up his legs before he got knocked the fuck out. Boy, did he get knocked out. Chewing up his leg though. That's very, very important because if we're talking about a guy in Nassourdine Imavov who has shown a questionable gas tank, we saw him slow down a little bit versus Jared Cannonier too as well. I saw it. So if we're talking about a guy who slows down, right? And then we're talking about a guy who does not slow down as much, not even close. A guy in Cabral who has a great gas tank, right? A guy in Cabral who has very, very hard leg kicks in both stance, southpaw or orthodox. Hard leg kicks. We saw it versus Armin Petrosian. We saw it versus Abus Magomedov. We saw it versus Jared Cannonier. He is ripping hard leg kicks at these guys. Nassourdine gets enough of those early in the fight. Remember, this is a technical battle here, and you know Cabral is very, very, very intelligent when it comes to breaking down and how he approaches fights. There are some fights, you know, Abu Magomedov. We were like, whoa, what's going on here? But it was strategic. We're gonna talk about that Abu's fight in a little bit, but you have to imagine that a guy like Cabral is noticing. If I'm noticing that Nassourdine doesn't check leg kicks or he's absorbing leg kick after leg kick after leg kick, I mean, I'm certain Cabral is. He's very intelligent with how he breaks down fights and how he approaches fights. So I think that this is going to be a major problem because what is one way to slow a guy down, right? He lands enough leg kicks that's going to take away from Nassourdine's mobility, which is also going to take away from the heat that he has on some of his punches. Cabral is a real problem. A real problem. For those first two things, I think those two things are going to play a major, major part in this fight. And then when you come and look at Nassourdine Imavov's fight versus Brendan Allen, Brendan Allen latches in a body lock, gets him down, controls him for the entire round. The entire first round controls him. Had chances to do some damage as well, but just didn't utilize it. We saw Edmund Shabazian take him down and controlled him. Edmund Shabazian, right? Now, the reason why I want to highlight the fact that Brendan Allen was able to take him down and control him. Phil Hawes was able to take him down and control him. We've seen Roman Dolidze was able to take him down. So it's important, man, that we highlight these things because, again, we're talking about a guy with a gas tank that's questionable, doesn't defend leg kicks, has been taken down and controlled. I'm just saying, man, putting these things together. These are three weaknesses that are very, very evident when you're fighting a guy who's good at all of your deficiencies so far that I've mentioned. Very good at all of your deficiencies that I've mentioned so far. Now, it's very important to note, while Nassourdine has been taken down quite often, he's not easy to take down. He is not easy to take down. I'm gonna give him that, and that's important versus a guy like he's very active, fighting hands, using the knee to frame off, using his knees, framing off, trying to circle out, trying to reverse position on the fence, get you in the clinch, in a clinch position on the fence. He's very active. Now he goes down right? He goes down, but he's not easy to take down. And let's discuss why that's important. Borralho doesn't overcommit. He's not going to fully commit to takedowns. A lot of times he'll shoot a takedown to set up to get you into a clinch position, get you on the fence, use the body lock. So he chains these things together. Get that body lock, trip you up, use his weight to kind of drag you down to the ground. That's Borralho's style. He's not blitzing you down like a Khamzat Chimaev. He's not blitzing you down. He's not doing that. Or like an Anthony Hernandez. He's much more methodical with the way he takes you down. And the reason for that is because he doesn't want to be out of position. He never wants to be out of position. So that can play against him here because Nassourdine is going to fight those hands. You know, we saw Abus Magomedov sprawl on Borralho. Again, he didn't overextend on the takedown though because he didn't want to be reversed or swept or to get into a bad position if he doesn't get the takedown and take damage. Same thing versus Armen Petrosyan. Armen Petrosyan was able to stuff a takedown. But again, he's not putting everything into that first initial takedown. What he's doing, he's setting you up to get you on the clinch and pull you into his world, that jiu-jitsu world. Borralho has some of the best top pressure. It is second to only Khamzat. Some of the look at Mikhail Oleksiejczuk could not go anywhere when he was on top of him. Couldn't go anywhere. Wrist control, right? He would get that wrist control and use that shoulder pressure to pin him down. He couldn't move. Cross wrist rides. Shoulder pressure versus Mahmoud Murdov, or however you say his name. He was in half guard, suffocating him. He couldn't move out of, and this guy was in half guard. That is very, very hard to do. Borralho, when he gets you on the ground, good luck, man. That top pressure is something else, and then he seamlessly transitions to Mikhail Oleksiejczuk's back and strangles him with the rear naked. His top pressure is elite. He is elite on that ground, man. He's very, very good down there. I don't think Nassourdine wants that. Nassourdine is going to scramble for his life to avoid the takedown. You know, his top pressure is something else. So the fight goes to the ground. This is Borralho's round. We saw Phil Hawes control Nassourdine on the ground and apply that top pressure on him. You know, we've seen it time and time again versus Nassourdine. But again, it's not the easiest thing in the world to take him down. He does go down, don't get me wrong, but you have to, it's not something where, I think Borralho's grappling mechanisms and ways to get Nassourdine to the ground make it easier for Nassourdine to defend, if that makes sense. If the fight goes to the ground now, Caio's going to have him in his world all day. But getting the fight to the ground, I think, is going to be an interesting part. I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. Okay, so we have, again, the gas tank issue, leg kick issue, right? We've had, Nassourdine, when he's on the ground, you're able to control him. And now we know Borralho applies heavy top pressure. Heavy top pressure. So, that's interesting. Listen, both guys, let's discuss their attributes again, right? Before I go into this next part. Nassourdine is 6'3", rangier, lankier than Borralho, who is 6'1". They both have a 75-inch reach. We know that Caio is the build, he's built stocky, brick house, denser guy. Nassourdine is a rangier guy, right? So if you think about all those things, right, those leg kicks are going to hurt a little bit more. We're going to slam a little bit harder with the Caio. That top pressure is going to be a little bit heavier. But Nassourdine's wiry, those teep kicks, those body kicks, that right straight he has. So look, these guys, we know that Nassourdine, he's a little bit busier than a Caio. A little bit busier. I think he's throwing about 4.5 significant strikes per round. Caio is throwing only like 3.6. Caio is more accurate, lands at a 60% rate versus Nassoudine's 55%. He only absorbs, though, Caio, we know, only absorbs about 2.3 strikes per significant strikes per minute. Nassourdine, takes a little bit more damage, absorbing about 3.2 significant strikes per minute. So all of these little intricacies, right, are coming into play with this fight. We see a rangier guy in Nassourdine. We see a denser, more compact, built brick house guy in Caio, who has advantages on the ground, who may struggle to get the fight to the ground. He uses a bladed karate stance, a wide karate stance, and I actually think that Caio is the faster guy here. I do think he's the faster guy here. I think that that in and out blitz that he does, that karate style in and out blitz, he has the ability to move in and out quickly. Right? He lands nasty 1-2s down the middle. Again, that's what he dropped Jared Cannonier with. I thought he knocked Jared Cannonier out, to be honest with you. Jared Cannonier went stiff, went limp, and then woke up when he hit the ground. Hit Abus Magomedov with that same punch. Hit Mikhail Oleksiejczuk with that same punch. Hit Paul Craig with that same punch. Combination. Very, very, very fast hands. And the thing about Caio, he's doing that throughout the fight. Does not slow down. He's a good gas tank. Again, we saw him wearing damage versus Jared Cannonier. Still drops Jared with a nasty, very, very fast 1-2 down the middle. Drops him bad. In the fifth round, after he was hurt badly in the fourth. In a war. These guys were in a war. He comes out in the fifth round, blitzes in hard 1-2 right down the middle. With his karate stance, he's also able to use it defensively. Now, we saw him versus Abus Magomedov. Abus Magomedov, when he fought Abus, he knows that Abus is orthodox and Abus's power hand is that right, and his power leg is that right. So he switches to southpaw and wins the outside battle. What that does is Abus now has to reach with his right hand, his strong hand. He has to reach to land a punch. With that body kick, he sees it better. So this guy is again very intelligent. He knows how to break fighters down. He knew coming into the fight versus Abus that he had a strong right, and he pressures early. Strong right kick. So with him going southpaw, he's able to see the kick and react to it with counters. That right cross has to be extended further to get to him, minimizing the damage and also allowing him to see it better and counter. With him being in that southpaw stance, he's now able to counter with that left straight quicker because he's winning the outside foot battle. Very, very, very intelligent striker is Borralho. Very, very, very intelligent striker. So we saw also one of the things that's important to note, and this is important versus a guy like Nassourdine Imavov. Nassourdine is very, very good boxer. Very, very good boxer. If he starts tagging Cabarrajo up early, starts walking Cabarrajo down, and we know how Nassourdine comes, sometimes he'll come out very aggressive. We saw what he did versus Joaquin Buckley. He'll come out very, very aggressive, right? And so if he's cutting off the cage, he's stuffing takedowns and he's damaging Cabarrajo. Cabarrajo, Nasruddin likes to fight in that orthodox style. Nasruddin can switch stances as well too, but for the most part, we see him in that orthodox style. Cabarrajo, he uses that southpaw stance. He'll, as a way to angle off and reset. That blitz in and out style that he uses in either stance, he can use it to angle off and reset, and he does it very, very well. Versus Abus is a prime example. Abus was hunting him down, similar to what Nasruddin likes to do sometimes. And he was elusive, and he's on the back foot, all while landing shots of his own. Very, very, very close round between him, first round between him and Abus. Both men landing good shots. Cabarrajo is very intelligent when it comes to setting up how he fights. You know? So I think that these are all interesting things when you kind of look at this fight. You look at Cabarrajo. He has power, man. He was able to drop Cannonier, finish Paul Craig. Obviously, we saw that. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. He dropped Abus Magomedov. He dropped all of these guys. He also has a granite chin. We saw Mikhail Oleksiejczuk landing that piston straight, left straight. Cannonier was bashing his face in, damaging his face, eating his granite, big, massive granite chin. Eating punches. And we know that Nasruddin can crack. Nasruddin too has a granite chin. Granite chin. I mean, Buckley was cracking him, man. Cracking him. Brendan Allen was cracking him. Jared Cannonier was cracking him. Was able to eat these punches, Nasruddin is very, very good as well. Even like I said, when he's fighting those hands and he's defending takedowns, he's throwing these elbows. Very, very busy. Very, very busy defending takedowns. Very mean sprawl. We've seen Brendan Allen was able to get him down in the first round. The rest of the fight, Brendan Allen was trying to shoot, couldn't get him down. We saw Roman Dolidze struggle to get him down later in the fight. Nasruddin is very, very good. Very, very good. Very skilled. He has a great, great boxing. When he's inside in range, within boxing range, we saw what he did to Izzy. Drops him badly. Now, one of the weapons that I do think Nasruddin has that he can use against a Cabarrajo is that right jab. Because what Cabarrajo likes to do is blitz in, and we've seen Nasruddin time that jab counter very, very well. Counter with that right hand versus Joaquin Buckley and Edmund Shabazi. Hurting them badly. Hurting them very bad. I do think that Nasruddin will start this fight, right? This is the way I see it. I think he's going to start the fight very aggressive. He's going to try and close the range. He's going to try and get to Cabarrajo because he's going to want to hurt Caio early to kind of slow him down as well. He wants to dictate the way the fight goes. If you watch a lot of Nasruddin's fight, he's very, very good early, very aggressive early because he wants to dictate the way the fight's going. I can see a world where he comes out and he's aggressive early. He's getting into range, cutting off the fence versus a Cabarrajo, and he's landing boxing combinations while Caio attempts to be on the back foot. He's gonna have to be smart with the way he cuts off the cage, which he has the ability to do. And I could see him timing Cabarrajo's blitzes in, those blitzes that he likes to use, with that right straight, catching Cabral. Even on Cabral's takedown entries, you know, again, Nassourdine is not easy to take down. He's throwing up everything to avoid the takedown. I think that's going to be the most interesting part of the fight. Like I said before, is the grappling aspect of it. And so, like I said, we've seen him use that right hand to counter Joaquin Buckley because Joaquin started hawking him early in the fight. Joaquin was hawking him. Very good, with a kind of a blitz style. Very good movement. Very good lateral movement. Angles, coming in on angles, which we know Cabral likes to do as well. There are some times where Cabral comes in square with a comes in and he's squared up, where I think Imavov could take advantage of that and land on him. Cabral's gonna have to come in on angles. He angles off very well. He's gonna have to enter in on angles though. A lot of times he's that blitz and he's coming straight at you, versus blitzing off or coming off at an angle and then coming. So I do think that I could see Nassourdine potentially timing Cabral and clipping him with some hard shots that way. Cabral has or Nassourdine Imavov has a very, very impressive front kick, especially when he's going forward. When he's pressing the action, the guy's good. His boxing, his front kicks, his teeps, controlled to manage the distance. Again, Cabral likes to blitz in. He can utilize that to offset that. On a blitz in, he gets a kick right to the stomach. Right? These are all problems that Caio is gonna have to he's gonna have to watch out for. Right? We've seen him with that step in right. Right? Step in right. Steps in, dropped Ian Heinisch. Hurt him badly. I could see something like that happen versus a Cabral as well. Yeah, I mean, the thing that listen, I do think that Cabral has more weapons here, because I do think that Cabral, like I said, he's gonna be on that bicycle, whereas Nassourdine is gonna be hawking. But while Cabral is on that bicycle, he's gonna be looking to land. That's where Nassourdine is gonna have to time some of those entries, and he's very, very, very good at that. Very, very good at that. He's very good at very fast hands. When you're in boxing range, very fast hands. We saw that versus Izzy. Nassourdine can switch stances as well. He can switch stances as well. And so this is going to be a very tactical matchup, very technical matchup, the game plan is going to be on full display. Both men are going to be trying to implement and impose their will. And I think early I could see Nassourdine, he comes out very aggressive and strong. I could see him cutting off the cage. I can see him timing Cabral's blitzes and hurting Cabral early. Landing the better shots early. But I do think, guys, as the fight goes on, I just think that Cabral is just gonna wear on him. He's just gonna wear on him, man. His ability to do that. He has more weapons. If he has to go to the takedowns, he can do it. All those things will wear on Nassourdine, the leg kicks. It is going to be a very close fight, but I do see a 49-48 in favor of Caio Borralho. I don't know if I can give one of these guys. Both of them have granite chins, man. They both have granite chins. Unless Nassourdine gasses, I can't see a KO here. I'm going 49-48. Caio Borralho by a decision. There you have it. That's my pick. Caio Borralho should win this fight. He has the better weapons. I think he is equipped with more tools to win this fight than a Nassourdine Imavov. Although Nassourdine is very, very dangerous, especially early in this fight. Guys, it's your boy, MMA Mechanic. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about this breakdown. I would like to hear what you think. If you disagree, if you agree, if you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm a genius, you know, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, share, all the above. Until next time.